Hi, welcome back to the channel. So a couple weeks ago I released a new video on Kindle Vella, and for those of you who aren't sure what that is, it's Amazon's latest foray into serialized fiction. The premise is that they're going to combine the power of Wattpad with the marketability of Medium, which means that for those who want to read stories, they will be ponying up for it. But the trick is they're going to get the first 3 episodes free, and then anything after that they'll pay according to tokens that they buy, and whatever you as an author get will depend on what that value is of their bundle that they buy. And I did a whole video on it about 2 weeks ago, and if you want to check it out, I'll leave a link in the description below. You should totally check that out, and then that'll also give you a quick demonstration on how it works, and I do highly recommend you do that. But as you can see, I've since been working on some episodes here, and you'll see that I've got some nice little stats. And then I can even go in and edit my episode if I want, and you can see a quick view of what it looks like on the inside. And what's cool is they even give you like word count at the bottom, so you can get a sense of how many words you have. And with Kindle Vella, of course, you have up to 5,000 words per episode, and if you don't want to save, you just hit back, so that way it doesn't mess things up. But one thing I've learned is that if you do edit your video and you save, or not your video, your episode, it's going to go through the process of being re-examined. So it's just like the Amazon KDP. If you are going to make changes, make sure you do all your changes at once before you hit publish, because then it's going to lock you out again for a little while. And I learned that the hard way when I was trying to publish episode 5, and I wanted my episode 4. I wanted my publishing date to be for the 21st, but I got confused because I was going off my author's note for when 5 was supposed to release, and then of course I had to wait a while to go back and fix that. So if you are going to work with this platform, do bear in mind that anytime you hit save and publish, it's going to go through the same vetting process that it goes through all of KDP stuff, which means you will be out for a few hours. So, but as you can see, once you hit your 4th episode on, it does start to track your required tokens. And so that brought me to kind of an idea where I thought I wanted to do a spreadsheet on actually planning my stories and tracking my potential for sales and all that. So that's what I want to show you guys today. And do bear in mind, if you like my spreadsheet, I will have a link for that as well. It'll take you to my blog page, and then you can download it from there if you're interested. But I also want to show you guys how to use it, because it can be a little complicated at first glance, but once you get used to it, it's pretty cool, I think. Now, it's not going to look as fancy as this, so I mean, it's going to give you a lot of the same information that you're going to see from here, but the difference is that this is going to also help you plan your story before you even publish, and it's going to give you a sense of what your payments might be. So let's go and take a look at it if you want, and yeah, it'll be cool. Alright, so this is a new beta thing I'm trying out called the Kindle Vella Book Planner Tracker Marketing Tool, which I'm using in Microsoft Excel. And I'm running off of 2013, so if you have a more recent version, then you should have no problem running with this. But just a quick overview of as I zoom in and out, you'll see kind of the list of components that I've got going on here. I wanted you to be able to see it all at once before I get into the nitty-gritty. But as you can see, I have a section for the cover, and I have some basic stuff for you to fill out for your metadata and your title information and all of that. And I have the pricing list and a place for your summary, and then social media notes, and of course episode list and locations and all of that. And then over here on to the right of this line, which extends all the way down, I have all the formulas and all the data tracking. So these are all the dynamic updates that happens when you make a change. So the way this works is that anything on this side of the spreadsheet is okay to manipulate, except for these 2 blocks you don't want to mess with, and then this one here you don't want to mess with. Actually, I'm going to update the range notes here. I'll do that after I stop recording the video. But anyway, over here though, you're going to have all the more dynamic stuff, and this is going to be based on speculation. So one of the reasons why we're even using Kindle Vella is because we want to see if we can get a nice little royalty for our hard work. And the way this tracker works is it automatically keeps track of what your likely earnings will be based on the information Amazon's given us about our episodes. So what I'm using here is I'm using the formulas that they gave us, not including taxes. No one knows what the tax rate's going to be yet, so right now it's 0. And I'll have to update once they give us a record of what the tax rates will be, then I can update the formula to include that. But for now, it's just like a rough estimate of what I can expect on my own 5-episode storyline. depending on what tier of tokens you're buying. And so if you're not familiar, the token tier count looks like this. They buy the first tier for $2, they'll get 200 tokens. Second tier, it's $5 for 525, and all the way up to $15 for 1,700 tokens. And every 100 words is worth 1 token. So they have to, in order to, if they want to read a 170,000 word book, they're going to be shelling out the full $15, essentially. But then the way that the formulas work is the value goes down. So if you look over here on this royalty tier chart, you'll see that the price before royalty is over in the top line, and then the price after royalty is on the bottom. And you'll see that the number gradually goes down as you go higher up the tier, and that's because they're saving money when they buy the higher rates, which means you're earning less. But the way this is designed is you can actually put your word count in the word count section. Actually, let me zoom in because it might be a little small for some people. If you put in the word count on this line, it's going to automatically track your tokens. And you'll notice the first 3 episodes don't track. That's because Kindle Vella will not be paying out for the first 3 episodes. So these are going to always be 0 no matter what you do, unless you override my code, which defeats the purpose. But from episode 4 on down, it'll start tracking by token, and then it'll show you the estimated payout. Now, one thing I want to bear in mind is that they have not given us any information on what read-through will be and how they'll report read-through. So all of this up here is tentative. This is the reason why it's called beta, because I don't know if I'm going to actually have this information, which means this stat may always be useless, but this stat should always be relevant. And then, of course, if you go over to the right here, I have a graph of the different types of charts. So, like, for example, if I do have a read-through, we'll just do a quick sample here. Let's say if I do have read-through, let's see, 1, 3, 5, 6, because readers love to, or actually, that's for the low tier, and then we'll have 5, 3, 12, because readers like to skip episodes, and then 3. And if I go over to the right over here, you'll see that the graph has been updated by total read-through and by breakdown. So if Amazon does give us the ability to track our readers by tiers, then this graph will do the same. And so the way I have it designed here is you can have up to 30 episodes right out the gate, and then if you want to add more, what you'll do is you'll clip it here, you'll grab the edge, and let's see if I can do this without breaking it, and then just knock down 1 row of 4, and then it's going to automatically update for you. And then all you got to do is actually you don't have to do anything else on here as far as your base reporting up here goes, but if you do want to update your chart, then in order to do that, you're going to have to update some of the interface. Like if you go into the graph here, I go into design, and I select data, you'll see that I'm going to have to update my range here a little bit. And then you'll notice that it jumped over to the calculations and data field. This is where all of my ranges default, so you will have to give these a format name. And of course the way you do that is you go into, let me cancel real quick. If you go into formulas, in the define name range section, you'll see what my patterns are, and you can just follow the pattern and then kind of go from there. And if you get stuck, let me know in the comments, and maybe I'll do another tutorial on how to break that down easily. But basically what I wanted to do is show you guys how this works, so if you do want to give it a shot. Hopefully the formulas are pretty easy to follow. Just bear in mind that past 30 you will have to highlight and drag, and yeah, it goes up. The formulas allow you to go up to episode 100 without any breakage, and then after 100 you're going to have to update the ranges, which you can do. And actually I gave you a note on where to go to update that, and I still have to update the one for the word count. But let me go ahead. I want to show you the default folder here. When you actually download the tracker, this is what you're going to see. So if you want to take a quick look here with me, I'll show you a basic rundown of how to make this work. So up here, anytime you see a bracket, all you got to do is just change the name. So let's say your title's called Bubba Speaks, and then your book title one is says Bubba, not Bubba. And then you just kind of fill in as you go, even with season one. If you're only going to do one book, then you can leave this blank. But if you're going to do a series, you can just do season one or series one, wherever you want. Now, when you get to the total number of episodes, you do not need to touch this or this section or this one down here, because these will automatically populate as you work on your word count. So if I put in, let's say, 2,000 words and then 3,000 words, already you can see my episode count is going up, right? But then, and you also see my word count is climbing. This one has not opened yet because I haven't hit my 4th episode. So if I go 1,000 and then 2,000, now you'll see that my tokens have unlocked. And now that's going to show you how many I have, how much the reader needs in order to read what you have so far. And then again, if you go over to this side, you'll see what your estimated earnings will be so far based on what you have. So it's pretty dynamic overall. And then over here, if you have a particular published date you want, you can write whatever you want. If you want to say, May, what's the date? 10. I want to say May 10, 221. You can do that, and it'll automatically populate. The other thing you can do too is if you already put your data in, then you can also if you put your data in, you can also copy and paste all of your information, like your episode date or your title and all that, directly into the spreadsheet up in this little line, and it's going to populate for you. The other thing is, like, if you have your URL or ASIN, you can copy all that from the Kindle Vella page. If you go back and take a look at the page, you'll see where they give you the ASIN number. It's actually a hyperlink to your page. And so it's good to have that on here in case you want to do your social media, which is when we come down here to the social media section. If you wanted to copy like your latest ASIN or your latest link into your Twitter or your Facebook announcement, that's what this is for. So it's a good way to kind of manage all of your metadata and all your information. And then even if you haven't published anything yet, this is still a place where you can decide what you want your text to say. So even when you're coming up with your tags, if you want to use, let's say, new adult fiction, and then maybe you have, let's see, dog, thriller, and so on. Yeah, that's a good place where you can keep up with your tags. And of course, the genre, you just copy paste whatever the genres end up being on your Kindle Vella page. But the other thing that's cool too is the actual cover. If you want to change your cover, you just click in the middle there, and then you go to change picture, and then you can just go to file, and then it should already be in my, no it's not, okay. So once I want to find my cover, I just go to my, I think, Kindle Vella background, and then insert, and it just slips in like a glove. So just make sure your image is 1600 by 1600, and it should work fine. But yeah, this is the Kindle Vella tracking sheet. If you want to plan your story ahead of time, I do recommend that you use this. And then, of course, once we get more information from Amazon, I'll be able to update this with more relevant strategies and things. That way I will know for sure if we're going to even have this tier. And then if you do want to, if you download this and then you want to get a more updated version in the future, you can just click on the link to my site, and it'll take you right to the page where the download is. And then I'm also going to update this spreadsheet with the YouTube video that I'm recording now. So that'll be in here as well. So the final version you all get will have a little bit more information than this. But overall, I think you'll like it. So give it a try and tell me what you think of it. Tell me if it helps you at all. I spent quite a long time making this, so I definitely would love to know if you guys benefited at all from it. Do bear in mind that you can make any changes to formulas as needed. I would just be careful about how you change them, because you don't want to break anything. If you do make changes or if you make any additions, just a couple quick notes. Over here, this is all dynamic, so if you change any of the numbers here, you're going to change the formula. So this is good if Kindle Vella decides that they want to change their terms. Maybe they want to give 300 tokens for $2. Well, then you just easily change this to 300. I'll just do a demonstration for you real quick. And if you look over, just keep an eye on these numbers over here. When I change, just so you can see what happens, click on 300. You'll see that number for tier 1 has changed. So it will update in real time, so don't worry about that. But if you do need to make if Kindle does make an announcement, or even with the taxes and fees, this is all pretty dynamic, and you can certainly update it on your own. The only thing with taxes and fees is I don't know if I have the formula in the right spot, because I don't know how they're going to actually, I don't know if they're taking the taxes off the bundle or if they're taking it off the royalty. So the formula may be wrong once the taxes change. So like I said, you're probably going to be better off re-downloading this once they officially unlock for readers. But in the meantime, you can get your practice in and kind of get an estimate of what your chances are for making profits and things in here. But yeah, if you have any questions, just ask. The last thing I wanted to say is if you make any other additions, like if you add episodes beyond 100, or anything like that, you will need to pay attention to this line here. What happens here is, just give you a quick look. If you look at, is it this one? No, it's not that one. It's I think it's these up here. Yeah. Whenever you see these formulas with the sum and the mod row, all that stuff, you have to hold Control Shift and Enter for them to take. Otherwise, you're going to break them. So that's important. If you do have any reason to change the range, 444 is roughly about where episode 105, 106 will end. So if you need to go beyond that, you'll need to update 444 across the board to whatever your next final range is. But then you have to hold Control Shift and Enter for that to actually work. So I just want to make sure y'all are aware of that. In fact, I think if I click out of it, it's going to break. Oh no, it didn't. Okay, it's because it didn't have to do anything with it. I didn't make any changes, that's why. And then over here, of course, you see that'll update. Oh, I'm sorry, there's one more thing I wanted to say. You'll see that down here I've got spots for books 2 and 3. If you do have more than one book you want to do, there's already a section on those ready to go. If you want to add a 4th book, all you're going to have to do is a little bit more work, but if you right click and then move or copy, just do a create a copy, hit OK, and then over here you'll see it's book 3 too. You'll probably want to slide that over. Slide it over. One more time. There we go. And then just rename to 4. Oops, delete the whole thing. 4. And then what you're gonna have to do is once you're in book 4, bear in mind that you have a new call for your calculations and data. So you'll have to copy all this over here. Copy the arrow, go to, you'll actually need to change the column width to 20 for the first 2, and then click here and then paste. And then, of course, you can change all this here. Okay. Then in the ranges here, you're going to have these. You'll notice that I have the formula names. You're going to have to go to the ranges on your main page, and you'll go in through the whole procedure of naming and labeling your ranges, and then you'll have to do WC4, change all the 3s to 4s and so on. B4. That way, and then it's a little bit of work, but if you do a 4th book and you wanted to keep it all on the same spreadsheet, then that's the way you do it. Is you'll have to update those values. I would give yourself at least half hour or so to make sure everything updates and modifies. Double check all your values. It's not difficult to add an extra book. It's just time consuming, and I do believe I've outlined all the places where you have to be aware of where the formulas are dependent on the book. So you'll have to update anything that's got a new book. But other than that, it's pretty straightforward. So yeah, let me know if this helps, and if you have questions, just ask it in the comments, and I'll see if I can answer it. Thanks for watching, and I hope you all are doing well with your stories. So I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.